Welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time here, right here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. My name's Joe Callahan. Let's say good morning and hello and salutations to Bob Lauder. Hi,
Good
Bob.
morning. Good to be with you.
Good. Briscoe coming along okay?
Yes.
Looking lovely.
Thank you. Still getting the sympathy. That's the only reason I wear it.
That's the important part. We expect Sue Tester McKenzie to be joining us soon. She's not here yet. Dave Richards is right over there, though.
I am? Hey, what do you know?
So we forgot to ask Bob this question last week.
Oh, no, not
So
another
sorry
football
about that.
question. Because
Oh,
I
we-
don't
we
even
got-
know who won the game
we
on
got-
Thanksgiving.
Well, there were three, so which game?
It was Cumberland.
I knew that one.
He means the pros.
Okay. Now,
But
Cumberland,
the
I
question
knew.
was, we gave you good lines to use at
Right.
Thanksgiving
Yes.
to pass along to make you look knowledgeable.
Right.
Did you use them, and how did it go?
I didn't use them because nobody was watching television
one was watching
to watch
football?
the football game.
No?
And I didn't even know who won in the end. So I've saved them. They're back at the office, but I haven't.
Yeah, but they won't be good next year.
Why not?
The teams change.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, we gave you good stuff about the Detroit Lions, but
Right.
next year it might be completely different.
Okay. So
I mean, the Lions are going to play, but they might be lousy next year. So the stuff we gave you to talk about this year won't pertain to next year.
rats.
So crumple it up and throw it away.
No, no. I
can't be
saved this.
used.
I figured next
No,
year maybe
no.
somebody would turn on the TV and
That's not how it's going to work.
it won't work.
But we
Oh,
can
golly.
we can keep it on sports. Ready?
Oh golly, yes. What?
Bill Belichick's going to be the new head coach of the University of North Carolina.
And I saw he was getting paid $30 million.
See, I didn't see. I looked for that and I couldn't find it. All I saw was he got a 5-year deal.
Okay.
Okay, and that the trustees at North Carolina are having an emergency meeting today because they have to approve it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the president of the college just can't say you hired. In this case, the board of trustees are going to get together and say, and they've got to agree to it too. I guess.
Now, when he was coaching the Patriots,
Yes.
you have a commercial team that is selling tickets and has all kinds of money coming into it from various sources. Mm-hmm. But in a university like North Carolina, I imagine they sell tickets to the
Oh,
games,
sure.
but they're not going to be at the same financial rate that they were selling for the Patriots.
Oh, yes, they will.
Hundreds of dollars for a ticket. to
Oh,
a-
well, it
a
depends
college
where
game?
you are in the country.
Wow.
In some parts of the country, it's not around here. College football rules.
Okay.
That's it. Michigan is a place. Texas, college football is almost as popular as the pros. I'm not sure how it is in North Carolina,
All right.
but
Is-
they're a Division I school. They're a huge school, and they'll draw you. You'll pay hundreds of dollars for tickets to go to the game.
Okay, then it's commercially viable to have him do it.
Yes,
Because I was
And-
thinking that, as a coach, in his interaction with the kids, the students, they're 18 to 22, that he wouldn't be able to have the same kind of developmental skills that he would with older football players.
No, it's going to be different though, because he's got to develop them faster for the ones that have the potential to go on to the pros to get better. So
Okay.
he's going to make that decision quickly of who's pro material and who isn't.
But he also doesn't have the
It's tough.
opportunity to trade with other schools to get in better players.
No.
He's stuck with the roster
Yes,
that he has.
he's got to go out. He's got to recruit. Of course, he'll have his assistants will probably do most of that work. Recruit high school players. We want you to come play for us at North Carolina. Here's a scholarship offer we can offer you, hoping that they're going to develop into better college players.
Now, have they gotten to the point where students who are actually playing on college teams are going to get any kind of financial compensation for doing that?
Some are.
Okay, North Carolina?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
All right.
The real good players.
What kind of
We'll get that.
compensation are they paying the students?
You know, I'm not sure. I really didn't look into that. I know it's coming or it's here, or I'm like, I don't want to know how much college football players are getting paid.
Wow.
Well, the NCAA says they're not supposed to be.
Well, yeah, but they get around that somehow.
I want to know how much Belichick is getting paid.
Now,
They
Bob
said,
says $30 million.
Last night on
$30
television, they were
million.
talking about
Really?
negotiations, and the area that they were talking about was $30 million.
$30 million a year, $30 million over 5 years.
It didn't specify.
Because I would
just,
say it's $30 million a year.
That's a considerable chunk of money to take to the candy store. Yeah.
Yes, it is. But that's what these things go for here. So
Talk about looking like $30 million, though.
Hiya, Sue.
Wow.
Good
What a
morning.
great outfit.
Thank you.
Dave's got a note that was called in at
She's,
766-1240.
well, you referred to it, but then on the radio, we're not telling anybody what she looks like. I
She
mean,
looks great.
yeah, well, yes. But
Very
we,
winter
we
white.
should talk about the nice cream-colored fur parka and the seasonal dress with the geometric zigzags on it and stuff
It's
like that.
It's like a Hallmark sweater. That's what I call them.
Okay.
Any sweater that has this going across the shoulders.
That's
and the
right,
check
yeah.
Is a Hallmark sweater.
I get it.
I
All
didn't
right.
realize that.
Yeah,
Yes, I
that's
was
what
passing.
I call it.
I was passing by the desk of the fabulous Denise, and she was taking a note from a listener, Joe.
Okay.
And here's what it says. It's a question, I believe, posed to the lawyer here in the family.
Oh, my God.
Yes. If a tree from a neighbor's property falls on your house and destroys your house, does it make noise? No. The question is, whose insurance is responsible for the damage? I'm sorry, I just had to ad-lib that joke
Of
in
course
there.
you did.
Yeah. So, your neighbor's tree falls down, hits your house, and destroys your house. Whose insurance company's on the hook?
I think the first one is going to be your neighbor's insurance company.
Yeah,
And I
think
speak
so.
from personal experience because, in a bizarre fashion, the day that my mother-in-law passed away and her funeral was taking place, we had a heavy windstorm in the city, and a large tree in my yard fell over and completely destroyed my neighbor's car.
Oh,
Yeah, it was surprising. Sort of a, we're at the funeral and
You were
we're-
surprised.
We're
Think how-
smashing cars at the same
yeah,
time.
think how
And
the
it
car
was my
was
insurance
looking at it.
company that had to pay the neighbor for the damage to the car.
Oh, sure.
Was it total?
Oh yeah.
No, it's completely gone. Okay.
Yeah.
And how much did your insurance go up? Or
I-
did it?
Wow, that's
Oh,
not.
maybe.
Yeah, how much
really
in that case
recall
is none of your
Percentage.
business,
Well,
really?
I'm looking,
recall
I'm looking
what-
like a percentage.
I have no recollection of that. I just
No.
remember coming
Calling
home
them
and seeing the damage to the neighbor's car, and the neighbor was very generous about the whole thing. These things happen.
What are you going to do?
The
the tree
insurance
fell
is going to
over.
pay off. They still talk to me afterwards.
Oh, good.
But it was just quite a surprise to come home and see that destruction.
Well, there you go. It's if the neighbor owns the tree, and so it's their tree.
There you go.
That caused
I
the
would
damage,
think they're the
so-
first line of.
The
Well,
question
there
is.
is more to it than
No,
that.
but yeah, that there is.
There is
Did
a
it
lot
make
more
a
to it.
sound?
No. What do you mean there's more to it, Sue?
Well, because there, and this is only my speaking on two other gentlemen that had similar situations of trees overhanging their fence on a roadside, mind you, and all of a sudden a tree falls. Well, that's you parked there, your problem. Unless you told that person that that thing was ready to go. So, that would need to be clarified. But this was a conversation. I remember it like it was yesterday in the office where somebody complaining about these tree limbs because they were not, the limb was hanging over, even though the tree was in the yard, the limb was hanging over onto public property, like
On a street,
roadside, on
okay.
the street.
All right.
And then I was told at that point, well, you parked there.
Sue's
Bob?
clarification is right, because I did not put into my story that my tree had rot in it. And my insurance company said you should have noticed that the tree was rotting,
And
and
take it
therefore
down.
you are negligent.
Ah.
And that's why they paid off. I think that if the tree had not been rotting, then there may have been more of a dispute over who was going to pay for the damage.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Sue is right. Sue's
Okay.
a better lawyer than I am.
So, but if the tree limb is hanging over a public roadway,
Well,
and that
lots of,
falls and hits a car,
I think it would be the same distinction as to whether or not.
The person knew, the owner
Right.
of the tree knew.
well, who's gonna go out and tell every single person, oh,
Well,
don't park
no,
there
it's
because that
not
tree limb
so
may
much
fall.
that. All right, so, and the only reason I was involved in that conversation is because across the street from my house there was a tree that was slowly losing limbs. So it's like a running joke. Hey, you need a new car, park it over there. It's going to be windy. Because it was, limbs were just falling.
Yeah.
The owners of the property knew that this was taking place. They had children and these things would fall. It didn't matter wind, rain, hot day. These limbs were falling, and this was one big tree. It's finally been taken down.
Wow.
But that
Okay.
was where so what you're saying is it would become my fault. However, I don't believe it involves or increases your insurance because you were parked. You were sitting, you were not in your car, you were parked, not in the vehicle, a tree limb fell. I don't believe that's that would justify an increase in your insurance.
All right.
I think the caller
Good question.
should contact Sue. She'll be the one
Follow
who puts
her advice.
her name in my commercial. Yep.
The trees and neighbors have been the subject of disagreements
Many
for many,
disputes,
many,
many
yeah,
years.
exactly. Although I have to tell you that here on Park Avenue, when we came here, there were 3 trees that have been taken down that were causing trouble on our property. 2 of them were on Madeline's property next door. We just, she's in the backyard. Hey, Madeline, can we do something about this? She says, yeah. She said, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'd really like to not see it, dropping stuff into the parking lot because it's tracking it in on the rugs and the radio station and stuff like that. She says, you want to take it down? I says, well, only if you agree. She says, yeah, it's my tree. Suppose we go in on this and we divide it up how much I pay for, how much she pay for. Got it done.
You have a good
Now,
neighbor.
can we, well, yeah, right, because it's not her fault that the tree is doing this.
Right.
So it's a thing of nature. But, you just agree. And then if she needed something, you would take care of her. If I needed something, she'd take care of me, that sort of thing. You can make good neighbors.
All right.
Great.
It takes time and effort.
But a good question, and we thank you for the.
Thank you very
first
much
question.
to
That
the
was good.
listener for calling that in.
766-1240.
Yeah, we got like 8 minutes out of that question.
Yeah.
Right?
But we
So-
still didn't find out if it made any noise.
Well, no one was around, so it didn't. So there you go. So not only did Belichick get the 5-year deal down at the University of North Carolina, Red Sox signed a new pitcher. So how exciting is that, Bob?
I'm more excited than you can imagine.
Well,
Let's ask Sue.
we
Sue
got,
will know this too.
We got a pitcher from the Chicago White Sox,
Okay.
who were the worst. They were the worst team I think ever, record-wise, last summer with 121 losses. There's only 162 games.
This
It's
guy
just-
must be very, very good to overcome that kind of a record for his
Well, he
team
did-
to
he-
be
he
attracted
did-
by the Red Sox.
He did pretty good. He had a lot of strikeouts last year. So, and we traded four minor league players for him. So, he must be of decent ilk. So,
Wow.
We'll see if
And
things.
what's his
turn
name
around.
and how much is he getting paid?
Gary Crochet. Like
right.
your crochet. I don't know how much he's getting. I didn't see
Wow.
that part. So, it's always in the. It just assume it's $10 million. Okay. At least for 1 year. Just go to that. Go to that. That that plateau right away.
I should have paid more attention when I was in junior high school.
I should have been able. If I could have hit a curveball, things would have been so much different. But it's tough. It's tough hitting a curveball, and either you can or you can't.
no idea.
Trivia question. Sue might know this.
Oh, she knows everything now.
I can make it into 2. Who's the first Major League Baseball player to make $100,000 a year? And you've heard of him?
Ted
And-
Williams?
No, but you're in the right era. And who's the first player to make $1 million a year?
Do not know.
100,000. Let's go back to Joe DiMaggio.
It is Joe DiMaggio was
Wow.
the first player to make $100,000 a year in the 40s. And
Yeah.
people was like, "Oh my god," same as what we do now. "Oh my god, that's outrageous," and like that. First player to make $1 million a year was Nolan Ryan, like 1975, and that was just, as soon as they hit the $1 million mark, that's it. It's gonna break wide open.
It wasn't Kyle
And it did.
Yastrzemski. That's surprising.
No, I don't know if he ever made $1 million a year.
He was back in the 60s, I think.
60s and 70s,
Yeah.
and he retired in the early 80s.
Wow.
I never knew how much he made. So, but it was Nolan Ryan was the first to make $1 million a year.
Hope he earned it.
He did. he was very good. And then we get the new guy that just signed 15 years for $765 million. So there you go.
You got to sell a lot of tickets to overcome that kind of a payment.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Well, they get the deals. Major League Baseball pays them to put their shows on TV and things like that. So they get money from outside ticket sales. So, and the selling of advertising inside the stadium and things like that. So they have a lot of revenue streams that baseball
Wow.
and all the sports. They get a lot of different revenue streams coming in besides just ticket sales.
How much does an average ticket cost to go to a Red Sox game now?
Oh, I would say it's $100. It all depends on where you're going to sit.
All right.
If you're way out in center field, high up, I think they sell college tickets. The last I knew, $19 was the cheapest to sit, but you are far away.
All right.
But if you want to sit down close, down around home plate near the dugouts, $200.
I suppose that's not
So-
really too
so-
much
so it
under
ranges.
the circumstances. All right.
Well, it ranges, and then there's everything else you got to put into it. You know, where you going? Have you ever tried to park near Fenway Park?
Not when a game was going on.
Yikes!
Right?
It is yikes. It is at least $50, if not more.
No. All right.
So you got to consider that. What do you got, Sue? Sue's got a
The
question.
cheapest tickets to a Boston Red Sox game are usually bleacher seats,
Yeah.
which can start around $52 to $62.
All right. So
All right.
I know they have plans if you're a college student, which would lower that. But if you're Joe Schmo
Average-
coming in,
yep.
average is $50 a ticket.
The average ticket
Wow.
price for a Red Sox game in 2023 was $62.94, the highest in Major League Baseball.
Well, there we go.
I'm surprised.
Glad I
that
could
doesn't
be of
seem
service.
That much. You agree? Why don't we
That doesn't seem that much.
we just $62?
Yes.
Well, you got
No,
a
I
family
don't
of
think
4 or
so.
5 kids. That's a lot.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
a
it's-
lot.
They've determined that between the tickets and the parking, and they always throw in a hot dog and a soda and a beer
Yeah,
like that.
you're-
It's a $500 night
Oh,
or $600 night.
absolutely. All right.
Yeah, so and that's why people only go to one because it's just
And some
outrageously
people actually
expensive.
go to Florida to training camp,
Oh yeah.
and they see them there. Isn't it free or
Oh
something?
no.
Oh, they pay now for that
Oh
too.
yeah.
Oh,
And JetBlue Park, which is a single A team, the tickets down there are like $10, except during spring training, and then things like triple and quadruple because they know people are coming to see the big leaguers, so they got that month time to make a ton of money,
wow.
and then they go away because the season has started, and then they lower the prices again. So yeah, there's money to be made there in baseball.
Oh, it's so much, so expensive.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, so more coming your way. And 766-1240 for comments and questions.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
It's Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan along with Bob Lotter. And we've raised Sue up after numerous complaints.
Sue got a raise.
Why is Sue under the table? Good question. Let's give her. We
I
got
think
her
they
another
wanted
chair.
to see my Hallmark sweater.
That must be it. And it looks lovely now.
Thank you.
We can see much better of the Sue's sweater.
Right.
But this portion of Coffee and is sponsored by the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times. And Sue's here from the paper, so tell us what's going on in the paper, Sue.
Good morning. Well, we always have a lot going on. I mean, it's the holidays. We have a lot of festivities that we're advertising and publishing and whatnot. But one of the things I did want to mention is we did choose a winner of the stocking stuffer contest. She is a known person to the call because she has been fortunate enough to win things in the past. Her name is Carol Dusablon of North Smithfield. I will be in touch with Carol once I pull everything together. I'm still trying to get one more gift certificate. But she is the winner of our stocking stuffer contest. We run many contests throughout the year. All you have to do is go to www.woonsocketcall.com to enter to win and see what contests are coming up. Currently, that was the last one for the year, but of course, we start things over back in January, February.
All right, very good. We just talk about the ticket prices at the Red Sox games, and average price is $60. And I actually told my daughter when she went off to school, I said, take a look around in the springtime, because sometimes the school will put together a trip.
Yeah.
I said, and you might think it's expensive. So it might be like $40 for a ticket to the game, but the bus ride there and back. I said, that's a bargain.
That is a heck of a bargain.
So if you see something like that, you should take advantage of it.
Right.
Because you'll never be able to just buy $40 and get a ticket, and then you'd have to drive yourself.
And the parking issue.
You don't have to worry about parking. It's perfect. It's great.
I can't remember where we ended up parking, but we did okay. I'm a get to a place early person, so we did park okay. But we had the whole when I took my kids, and that was quite some time ago. It was gotta have sausage, peppers, and onions from a street vendor.
Oh,
gotta
they are delicious.
gotta have a beer from the park. Gotta have the peanuts so we kind of did everything that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately can't afford to keep doing that. So
One of the last times I went, and because of myself and my people that I associate with, we're notoriously cheap. If you can figure it out, and we have, and I know where to go, if I ever do it again, to park for free.
yeah.
But you're not in Boston.
Springfield.
Close. You're in,
Springfield.
but you're in Brookline.
Okay.
And then you walk.
Springfield.
And then you walk from Brookline to, it's about a 10-minute walk, but you park for free.
Now, you use the
On the
phrase
street.
notoriously cheap.
Yes. Yes.
Now, Sue and I had thought one of those phrases
frugal.
was always true, but it's outside this room, too?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay, man. I don't know.
The
I guess Sue and I are not getting any Christmas presents from you this year, right?
you get our nice hearty Merry Christmas.
Nice hearty Merry Christmas.
Hearty Merry Christmas. Okay.
Was there something else I wanted to say about this?
Now, this is the same guy who works with the instant potatoes. Notoriously cheap and instant potatoes.
Or no instant potatoes at Thanksgiving, I'll have you know.
Thank God
My
for your son and his girlfriend.
And the girlfriend that came down, they did not bring russet potatoes, though.
They got white potatoes, didn't
I
they?
think they were yellow. Are there yellow potatoes? There's such thing as
There
that?
are. There's white, yellow, and it's
Okay.
the white ones that
They brought yellow.
the yellow should be okay, but the white
oh,
are the
thank
ones
goodness.
that I believe turn, for lack of a better word, like gummy.
Yeah, all right. And they were very good.
Good.
They tasted like the instant.
No, they did not. Trust me, they did not.
All right. Did I tell you? But did I tell you that I actually, we had the big cranberry sauce discussion,
Yes.
Yes.
and I bought the wrong kind.
You did not.
Yes, because the can.
They were cheaper.
No, the cans look exactly the same.
But one says
You're-
jellied,
you're right.
and one
One
says
doesn't.
whole berry.
That's right. And I just grabbed it right off the shelf and said, "Here we go. This is what I need." And I didn't notice it until that day at the table with the can opener.
First off, that's your first mistake. Why was the can being opened at the table? That's a no-no. That is a faux pas. That is a faux pas.
'Cause
Then
I'm the
again,
only-
we're talking to somebody that does instant
I'm
mashed potatoes.
the only one eating it, so I'll open it when I feel like opening it. And
OMG.
then I went to go slide it out of the can, and it kind of
It
plopped
plopped.
out. I'm like, what in the world is this? What have I? And then I looked at the can. I said, it doesn't say jelly. Oh my gosh, I have bought the wrong kind, and they tasted awful.
You know what? A couple of weeks ago, when Mayor Bill Murray was here and was saying that he spent a lot of time at the end of the bench, he should have spent while he was sitting at the end of the bench. Maybe he should have been reading, learning his skills.
Right.
He was disgusted with my instant potatoes too.
I know.
Oh, he
I
most
know.
certainly was.
To the panel, the lowest Red Sox tickets for the year 2025 is $117.
Wow.
That's a lot more than 62. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's a-
that's
Well,
starting
yeah,
to get
that,
into the
and
area.
that said, I
that's a
believe
big
that
jump.
said 2023.
It did. So they've gone up. They went up last year, and then they're going up again this year. Ticket
From
price just-
62 to 117 in 2 years.
All right.
Wow.
Right?
And it's weird. And this is what people complain about the owners. And they want the owners to sell because you're not in it to win a championship. You're just in it to make money. And they have basically come out and said, "You're right. You're absolutely correct." And they don't want to sell tickets to. Well, Bob's not a fan. They don't want to sell tickets to me as the fan or you, Sue, as the fan.
No.
You know who they want to sell tickets to?
Someone will pay.
Someone will pay, but we're gonna sell tickets to Joe Smith, who's living in Columbus, Ohio, who's never been to Fenway Park, and they're coming to Boston for the very first time ever, and they want the whole Fenway Park experience, so they will pay that amount of money because they're going to come here once, see Fenway, and drop a lot of money.
Isn't the object of most businesses to make money?
Yes, that is the
All right.
bottom
So
line.
what is so terrible about this particular business saying
Because
we want to make money?
Because there's only so many people, like the guy from Columbus, coming to Fenway Park for the Fenway Park experience.
No,
But
but
they
some
don't have
people are going.
fans.
Some people are going to actually see the game.
Yes, we're going to see the game,
and they
and we want the team to win.
right, and they're not possible. Like when I went the first time, we got to do this, we got to eat that, we got to drink that, we got to do that. People that are going as fans, they know their way around it. Like, okay, we're going to eat before we go.
Yeah,
We're not going to drink there. We're going to hit the bar down the road. We're not going.
because it'd be cheaper.
So that's what he's referencing. People that are coming in for a one and done.
But
Yeah.
they don't have empty seats in the stadium.
Yes, they do.
Oh
They
yeah,
do?
They're not a sellout like they used to be.
no.
So there are quite a few empty seats now.
And
at-
part
Are
of
they,
it is
are they
that
not
price.
a sellout because the team is not performing as well? Or is it
That's part of
because
it.
the tickets are so high?
That's part of it. It's all.
Combo, yeah.
Yeah, you got to add all of them together.
How many seats are in there? And you don't have that many visitors coming into town
Yeah.
every time there's a game to see.
It's roughly
to get the
35,000
experience.
to sit there.
So
to-
35,000 people aren't coming into town to get the
every single day.
experience.
That's right.
You could fit the entire population of Woonsocket into Fenway Park?
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
You wouldn't be
surprise.
comfortable, but
All right.
those seats are kind of tight. Anyway, going away from it's just the way it is at Red Sox. Got to ask Bob this because the
Wait, gotta ask Sue to back me up.
wait a minute. We'll ask afterwards because
Oh,
it
okay.
might be a while to get to it. So Sue, would you like to do a second message from the Black Star Valley
let's
Calling
just-
Times?
Yeah, sure. Let's bang it out because I didn't give my
Okay.
phone number the last time.
Okay.
So, again, end of year, people trying to get, including myself, trying to get your last PTO days in. If you need anything at the office, and there is nobody in there because Christine is also, sometimes working from home, etc., just give me a call. You can call my cell phone at 401-487-4136. You need classifieds, that would be Christina at 767-8503. But again, any issues, any problems, any concerns, call me direct on my cell, 487-4136.
Thanks, Sue. And more of the Coffee and program is coming your way. We got to take a look at the weather forecast right now. Being brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Increasing clouds today with a high near 40 degrees and a diminished west wind up to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 21. Friday's weather, sunshine and 32 with a breeze from the west. Saturday, sunshine and 34. Sunday, partly sunny skies with a high of 37 and calm wind. Monday, 40% chance of snow in the morning, then a chance of rain during the day. Mostly cloudy skies, high of 45 eventually. Monday night, chance of rain is 40%, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 36. Tuesday, 60% chance of rain likely, mostly cloudy and 55 degrees. Tuesday night, 60% chance of rain continuing, mostly cloudy and 35. And on Wednesday, it'll be a mostly sunny day with a high of 45.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we do have sunny skies and temperatures going up to 36 degrees. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with their easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com.
Entertainment this weekend at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining, Main Street in Woonsocket. Tomorrow night, Friday the 13th, 8 p.m., The Bridge pays tribute to the music of Led Zeppelin. They'll take you on an unforgettable musical journey on the Polar Express. 25 in advance, 30 at the door. Then on Saturday the 14th, 8 p.m. at Chan's, we've seen the development of a young Monster Mike performance as a teenage phenomenon. Today, Monster Mike Welsh is becoming an all-around guitar master. Don't forget to treat your Santa's helpers to the party. $30 in advance, $35 at the door at Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. And oh, by the way, they have great food too. Oh, and one more thing. Monday the 16th, Multi-Blues Music Award-winning Albert Castiglia assembles an all-star cast of righteous souls for his new Gulf Coast Records release Christmas party at Chan's Monday night. Call for information starts at 7. Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket.
The 12 Days of Christmas has returned to the Museum of Work and Culture. Each day in December until December 21st, the Museum of Work and Culture has a different Christmas deal for you. Be sure to check with them each day to find out what the great deal is. Today is Thursday, December 12th, and the great deal today at the Museum of Work and Culture is 20% off holiday sweet treats, including Sweeter's Chocolates. The Museum of Work and Culture, Market Square, Woonsocket.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer, and I'd love to have you join me every Saturday for the Saturday Block Party. We start at 4 o'clock when I open up the ON Music Vault for you to pick whatever you want to hear or send to somebody special. Yes, the good old radio request days are back. Join me for the Saturday Block Party, Saturdays from 4 until 7 on ON Radio and streaming online at WoonsocketRadio.com.
It's Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Sue Tessier McKenzie and attorney Bob Lauder. And Bob, guess what? Time for our first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. I'd like to return to some more recent Rhode Island Supreme Court cases to discuss with you this morning. The first involves a phantom individual and the penalties for unlawful interaction with the phantom. The case also establishes the judicial manner in which one calculates age. The case is known as State v. Odaya and began when an officer of the Rhode Island State Police Computer Crimes Unit and Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force created an account on the online chat application Grindr. The phantom involved was the personification of a 14-year-old child. During the interaction communication between the defendant, a middle-aged man, and the phantom multiple times told the defendant that he was 14 years old. Despite the statements, the defendant agreed to meet the phantom in a mall parking lot for the purpose of sexual congress. When he arrived at the selected site, he was immediately arrested. The defendant was charged with third-degree sexual assault and indecent solicitation of a minor. At the conclusion of the trial, the defendant moved to have the charge dismissed because there is no evidence that the phantom was over the age of 14. The Supreme Court denied the appeal. In agreeing with the prosecution, the court noted that Section 1137 8.8 of the General Laws of the State of Rhode Island, as amended, provides that a person is guilty of indecent solicitation of a child if he or she knowingly solicits another person under 18 years of age or one he or she believes is a person under 18 years of age for the purpose of engaging in the act of prostitution or any other act in violation of Chapter 9, 34, or 37 of this title. It was not a question of proving age when the crime involves solicitation of a person believed by the defendant to be 14 years old. The Supreme Court then went on to determine how one should be accurately calculating one's age. The court wrote, "At common law, a person reaches his or her next age at the first moment of the day prior to the anniversary of his or her birth," and cites a prior decision wherein the court had written, "Since the respondent was born on May 17, 1962, we conclude that he attained the age of 18 years on the first moment of May 16, 1980, the day before the anniversary date of his birth, which calculation may have an impact on the salary Paul Mark greeting cards. If you think my office may be of assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
They seem to be making it more difficult than it needs to be, Bob.
Hey,
Your birthday's your birthday. It's just the way it is.
Sorry, but I lost 4 years somewhere in there.
All right. So Bob, Luigi Mangione,
yes.
accused a
Is
killer.
that Babyface?
No, this is the shooter, alleged shooter of the CEO of.
Oh, I'm
United
sorry,
Healthcare.
but the name is very similar.
Well, Luigi.
Okay, that's why, because I just heard
something
he
just passed
died.
away.
Okay,
yeah, the
that's
monster
why.
just
All
passed
right.
away. Same first name.
I'm not losing my mind.
But we're going with the shooter down there in New York City.
Yes.
He's still in Pennsylvania
Correct.
because he's fighting extradition.
Correct.
Is that on advice? Do you think that's on advice of his lawyer, or and what is the benefit of him fighting extradition back to New York City?
If he could fight extradition and he's successful and they don't extradite him to New York, then he cannot be charged under the state laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania because the alleged crime didn't happen in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
However, it's probably just in reality a stalling tactic, and he's going to end up in the state of New York.
You think his lawyer did this?
He might have. Yeah.
Just for
just for
make it a
a
week or
tactic
whatever?
to
Okay.
to try and protect the client. Yeah. But
Okay.
I expect he's going to be extradited to New York.
yeah. Okay. So who rules on that? Would that be a judge?
There'll be a
in
judge in
Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. And when does that? Do you know when that's coming up?
I think
Would it
they
be
said
this
his
week?
next hearing date was sometime like the 18th of December, but
Oh,
I'm
so
not sure
another
that's
week.
the hearing date on the extradition or just a further hearing date in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But he has minor charges in Pennsylvania. I think carrying the weapon,
the gun,
and
right,
using or carrying the false IDs, but certainly nothing to the extent of the murder charge that he's going to have in New York.
Right, and it's not. Hasn't been found guilty, of course, but it doesn't look good.
Of course.
Well,
for
it's
this guy.
surprising that he was apparently well enough aware of his target to figure out where
he'll be.
where he's going to be, but at the same time he wasn't aware that dropping a water bottle and
Oh, the
candy wrappers
the
and
candy
things
wrapper,
like that
yeah, with
would
his
provide
fingerprints on
evidence
it.
that could be against him, and also that preservation of the weapon and keeping it on his person was certainly a dangerous tactic to move. I would have thought that he would have done several things that were different, and
Yeah.
one of them would have been to disassemble the weapon, dispose of the parts in various locations, not have it on him, not have any evidence of. Apparently, he had not only the false ID cards, but he also had some type of written manifesto on him. I certainly
pages.
wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Would have
So,
gotten rid
Bob,
of
would
the
you take
cards.
that case?
This is a toughie.
It's going to be a tough case.
Tough.
Yeah.
And he dropped a cell phone with his fingerprints on it, away like a block or so away from where the
I don't know
crime
if that
took
was
place.
accidental or if that was deliberate as well. But
Okay.
yeah, it was a well planned out crime that at the same time carried a whole lot of parts that he hadn't either thought through or was
Well, that's
kind of
it.
careless.
And that's the way it is with a lot of criminals. They think they've made the perfect crime, but there's always something like the
A
candy,
wrapper.
Right.
Yeah.
thing that you oops I should have kept that. I shouldn't
Right.
have thrown it away.
Right.
Because the cops are gonna make a huge when they say canvass the area, they mean canvass the look at everything.
And there's so
in
many
the area.
so many cameras around that it's
Right.
yeah.
And I feel bad for the killers. I mean the victim and their family, and then I'm hearing from the alleged killer's family, and they're just shocked that this is taking place. They put a statement out, and it's like we never expected this kind of thing. So
Right.
it's like wow, and he's an Ivy League grad.
And then
He's
some
a rather
people
smart
are
individual.
Yes.
right, and then there are people on social media touting him as a hero.
Oh, they think he's a hero. Yeah.
And I don't know. I've just, had my own medical things, and it's not always the insurance that denies. It's oftentimes the doctors miss coding a diagnosis.
Well, that was my first question, because they kept saying how he was terrible pain in his back, and that he was. We lost our cameras. Interesting. I don't know what happened there. He was in terrible pain, and it was because of a botched surgery.
Right.
I'm like, well, okay. Well, shouldn't your fury go towards the doctor or the surgeon?
Right. And
Even so, it's not to the extent of going out and
oh no,
killing
absolutely.
someone.
I understand
well,
that.
no, and we're not. No,
And
let's
he-
make
yes.
one thing clear. That is not
You don't get to
what
do
I'm
that.
saying.
Right.
No. What I'm saying is, it's not always the insurance. It's not always this. It's not. I mean, look. You know what I just went through a few weeks ago, where a doctor here in Rhode Island refused to do a test that everybody was thinking, oh, that's the insurance company's fault. No, it's not. It
Yeah.
was specific, the doctor that refused, and then I had to go to a doctor at UMass, and the insurance approved. So, you're taking your anger out in the wrong direction, number one. Number two, there are ways of fighting issues. There are, a botched surgery. I'm thinking, I don't know, lawyer for one thing. You want to you want to be made whole again.
Yeah.
But it's not by killing somebody. That's not that didn't solve anything for anyone.
Nope. But people are like, oh yeah, he's struck he struck a
Right.
blow for the little guy. Isn't
No.
he great? He's Robin Hood.
No,
I
no.
don't think so.
Basically, so
Nope.
and that's what law
Some on
enforcement
social
and,
media
saying that.
say.
Oh yeah, they think it's great. Well, anyway, so and I'm looking forward to more details coming out.
Right.
The 3-page manifesto that he wrote, and just.
I would like to know
reasons
more
why
on
he
the
went for them.
medical aspect, because, you're saying botched surgery. Was it really? Was it not? What, you have to dig into everything. Was he just looking to get opioids? And, so I'm not, you don't know. So I'm curious about surgery. Not that gives you any justification to kill somebody, but I'm curious where that ended up.
Yeah. Okay, so more to come on that. Okay, back here in Rhode Island, Bob, the Attorney General, filed a lawsuit against, I don't know if you know this company, AR Building Company. They are a national real estate management corporation with properties in Cumberland, North Smithfield, East Providence, and North Kingstown, alleging they violated Rhode Island's Unfair and Deceptive Trade Practices Act.
I heard that much of the story, but I didn't hear what the actual allegations were as to what they had done, how much they had charged people, and how they had structured it.
According to the complaint, ARBC assessed illegal application fees, sometimes more than once for the same prospective tenant, as well as designed and implemented an arduous application process for those seeking reasonable accommodations for disabilities.
Okay, but what's the evidence? What do they actually have? That would be the interesting part.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
I'm not familiar with the company.
I don't have any of that kind of information. Maybe Dave does. So, let's, Mr. Richards has walked back into the studio. Yes, Dave.
I read part of the complaint. The one, it gave examples in the complaint of 3 consumers who were mistreated. And consumer A, as I recall in the complaint, attempted to rent an apartment at Dowling Village in North Smithfield. And if I recall the figures correctly, they said, oh, you'd like to apply to be here. Well, that'll be $250 for the application, $50 so we can screen you, because we don't want any
Bad people.
unsavory
Yeah,
people
okay.
living on our property here who break laws and things like that. So, okay, and then they did that. They paid the money, $300. The report came back. Oh, you don't earn enough money to get that report, to get that apartment. You're never going to be able to pay your rent. So no.
And then they were looking for a co-signer.
That's right. They said, well, you might get a co-signer to guarantee that you're going to pay the rent. Okay, fine. This is like buying an automobile all of a sudden. But they have to rent the apartment. They want to live there. So they say, okay, fine. A couple days later, come back. I got a co-signer. Listen, oh, that'll be another $250, another $50
$30.
for the screening, like that. And oh, by the way, your co-signer is going to also have to give us $50, and like that. And then, if I recall, that's the one that also took an excursion into disabilities, which is a federal problem that popped up as part of the complaint, where they needed reasonable accommodation because they had a disability, and then, well, what kind of disability? Explain your disability. Why do you need this? And that's a violation of federal statutes to do that to somebody who's looking for an apartment. So,
And then she was
those
denied
are the
second
allegations
time, too.
That's right.
This time they're
That's
citing
right.
credit reasons.
That's right. Yeah. So you see, there was all these things going on. That's just one of the two of the three that were outlined in the complaint. And by the way, those who are watching on TV, I'm aware that there's a problem with the picture, but we're not going to do anything about it till during the break. So that's why I'm here, because I got the alert that there's a problem with the picture on the TV, but the sound's okay. So, and this is primarily a radio show, isn't it?
Last I checked.
Primarily.
Other than seeing how great Sue looks today,
That word
there's
says
no real
radio.
big loss, right?
That word says radio, so I'm going with that.
Okay.
All right. We're going to take a break here in the
So
coffee.
does that help you, Bob?
Yes.
A little bit.
So
Okay.
the AG's office put together, and then there was another one and another one. There
yeah,
are
a
three
couple
examples
marketplace,
of
yeah.
different properties, all run by this same concern that is based in Pennsylvania and is breaking Rhode Island laws. And they're registered with the Secretary of State here, so it's lawful that they're doing business, but they're doing lawful business unlawfully.
Un-
No,
Unlawful
the illustrations
business practices.
make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming up. So time, Bob, for a second message from your law office.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. The second case I'd like to discuss with you this morning contains a modern affirmation of a long-established common law. The case is that of Nestlejohn versus Charter Care Home Health Services and was decided in January of this year. The case began when Dr. Michael Nesselman, who was working for the defendant. There was a dispute between the doctor and his employer, which resulted in a no trespass order. The doctor instituted litigation against the defendant, claiming, among other allegations, that other doctors and the employer of the defendant had erroneously discussed his medical health information to another staff member and spread rumor about his mental health, all of which damaged his reputation. During the course of the litigation, the doctor died, and an administrator was appointed by the probate court to represent his decedent estate. The administrator pursued the litigation. At trial in the Superior Court, the judge ruled that the original defamation claim of the doctor against the defendants was no longer viable, because the defamation claim of an individual abates upon the death of the individual. The administrator took an appeal to the state Supreme Court. The Supreme Court wrote, "At common law, cases of action for slander and libel do not survive the death of either the wrongdoer or the person injured by the wrongdoer." The court went on, "Therefore, the plaintiff's defamation claim can survive, if at all, only by virtue of the survival statute. And while other jurisdictions, interpreting their own survival statutes, have taken a contrary view, the Rhode Island statute preserves cases of action and actions for damages to a person or a real or personal estate, and does not extend to torts not directly affected by the person, but only the feelings and reputation. Accordingly, the plaintiff's defamation claim does not survive his death and is abated. If you think my office may be assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney, is an expert or specialist in any field of practice.
I love listening
Thank
to
you.
Bob talk legal. You know that?
Legalese.
It's so legal.
Great, thank you.
All right. Very good. More coffee ends coming up, so please stick around.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up gołąbki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye